Hello, everybody at FP. It's a great honor to be with you, although I regret I'm not on this wonderful stage, which is really a great place to be. But from this remote experience, I would like to share with you my experiences with business and legal aspects, and most importantly, user experience aspects of trusted electronic signatures. So let me go to the next slide and briefly show you the quick agenda for this session. So most importantly, I would like to talk about the ecosystem that Autenti is providing to the market, and how the market is working in terms of both sides that are usually engaged in any transaction, and go through specific business needs, legal requirements, and aspects of user experience, which in fact have the greatest implication towards popularization and making our world more digital. As we used to talk a lot about time to market on this conference for the past several years, and thinking, well, the next year it will be the next opportunity to grow. I think nobody expected that the COVID-19 would be exactly this reason, where everything speeds up and acceleration is really amazing. So let's go to the next slide and talk about how we make it available, different type of trust services to the market. So basically, Autenti is a platform that brings e-signature workflow solution, which enables different parties at the same time to meet at one location and approve different type of documents. And what we do provide is we provide both a solution for simple electronic signatures, advanced electronic signatures, but most importantly, we also do the partnerships, and with partners like Asseco, with SimplySign products, or InfoCert, which is an Italian qualified services provider, and other integrations to come. We do provide also this qualified services, which is very important into making this platform complete. But as you know, making a business is usually completed with making a signature at the end of the contract, where the agreement is actually reached. Before that, what we need to do many times is to verify our customers, to verify whether they exactly are who they claim to be, because we just work from home, we work from different locations, and we want to be sure that the other counterparties are exactly of that trust level that we want. So we do also cooperate with other vendors like Ariadnext or Ident to provide video identification services and document verification services, which are also available on our platform. So let's go next to the aspects of the market. So I would like to show the two-sided market challenge, which is on the next slide, please. It's all about two different sides of a contract. So it's a merchant. Usually we call that a person or a company who is sending the document for approval and requests signature and identification. And on the other hand, we have customers who can be either other type of businesses or consumers. And what I would like to point on is, when talking about this user experience, usually we have the concerns at the very beginning. What if? Can I use this tool safely? Can I use this solution in such a way that it brings me value and it indeed pushes our company and our business forward? Or it simply, from the customer perspective, lets me complete the goal I wanted to accomplish by, for example, signing a credit agreement or other type of document accepted. So what we found is that security and privacy are two most important types of barriers, which we as a services platforms operators need to tackle. On the merchant side, it's mostly about the security of the solution, because obviously the documents have to be safe on the platform. They shouldn't be seen by any other third party. They should be treated with full respect to secrecy of a company policy. On the other hand side, when you want to share the document to your counterparty online, it needs to be somehow available with the specific access tools. So you can see the document, you can browse to this text, the content of the document, and approve it once it is meeting the final uh, needs. So on the customer side, very often we found out that the concerns are not about the goal itself, because obviously they do expect signing a contract, but it's all about the privacy, whether I can make it safely, whether I can make it in such a way that it is also respecting our side. So as you can see, in each transaction there are two different sides of the story. So let's go to the business needs. I would like to share with you on the next slide um, uh, two things that we have found during this increased operations when everything speeded up, that actually our customers are demanding two things. One thing is obviously the functionality, which is both needed to be local and at the same time international, as customers, first of all, want to have a solution which is very close to their market needs. So it is verified by other use cases that, for example, if there is a dispute between different counterparties, the document signed can be a legal evidence in court when needed, or it simply is available to be compliant with local regulation, where some countries simply require certain level of assurance, for example, qualified electronic signatures on certain type of documents. At the same time, the platform should be open, because we no longer travel extensively, but we still continue to do business, and we need to close those deals fully online. But what happens is that customers are at the same time, even though they do want those digital services so badly, because there is simply no alternative of making it physically, but still they're under extreme pressure in terms of what is the situation for my business, how this situation will be moving forward, whether our business line is safe. Obviously it varies across industries. So they look at the total cost of the investment. They look at the speed, obviously, which is extremely crucial as well. But the total cost of investment is something very important for them. So this is exactly why we tried with our partners to facilitate convenience and at the same time good pricing models for those digital services, trust services, to be extremely effective. And obviously, it requires a lot of courage, because for what I know, each of those trust services operators are still thinking about how to use this opportunity created by this bad COVID-19 situation towards helping many type of businesses. So on the next slide, you can see that the business need is there, but at the same time, still there are a lot of questions about the legal requirements. I would like to tell you that our experience is that we are extremely open to products which are made with interconnectivity with different vendors. So, for example, you can use Simply Signed solution when you have a qualified signature issued in Poland, but at the same time, you can use other vendor like InfoCert on the other side of the contract and use it at the same platform because you do have this kind of certificate issued. So this means that for EIDAS to work really at least on European level, but also in several cases totally on a global scale, it still needs a push across markets. And what we can see that the customers are divided, at least from our perspective, into two groups. One is obviously the mass market, where the brand makes a difference. So basically, they do expect trusted services, but they do also expect those trusted services which have proved to have brands which have a policy towards user experience and towards customer feed. On the other hand, there are a lot of enterprise customers which do need a dedicated solution. So, for example, as Autenti, We have worked with many companies in the financial sector. So even though the push was great in terms of the timing, because we needed together to change the processes inside organizations like banks, for example, but still a dedicated compliance check was always needed, and it obviously takes time. And obviously, this was a huge lesson to learn how to do it not only in a 6-month process, but how to do it over 2 weeks. So this is something which is also expected from trusted services at this point, to be flexible, that you can actually shorten the period of time towards such a short frame. Let's go also to the other aspect I promised you to provide on this quick pitch about on the next slide about the user experience. I think everybody who had access to trust services like qualified electronic signatures went through the procedure of identification. And obviously, when this identification process was done on the spot physically, that was convenient many times, because different type of persons simply made a visit to your office, to your home, whatever you wanted, and that obviously was fine because somebody took care of the process and supported you. But once there's physical contact is no longer so much required, or even unwanted in many cases, all of the industry was pushed into remote identification processes. And obviously, convenience here is the key, but compliance doesn't make it easy. And I would like for me to hear this story not only by the regulators, which is the most important listeners to what I'm going to say, but also all other businesses who provide services which do require remote identification. As Autenti, as I showed you on the previous slides, we do have multiple vendors, and the same process for the remote identification, because it serves the same purpose, can last for as long as 40 minutes. But also we have processes which can last 15 minutes, but there are processes which can last 1 minute. And obviously, the guess is obvious, which is the choice of the customers if they do have it. This is something to be for all of the industry to work on, that we need to push this timing to a very minimum. So 1 minute is obviously a good benchmark. It is today available only at the services which confirmation comes from the banking eID systems guarantee, whereas the other systems, like from 15 to 40 minutes, are usually human-aided processes with different type of checkings which are needed to be made. So obviously, this industry also really is pushed through different regulators across countries. In one country, the processes are more liberal. In the other countries, the processes are more strict. While all of us simply need solutions which customers want to accept, and the timing as the benchmark here is really the key. So let's push together toward making this regulatory framework more interoperational. And at the last stage of my quick pitch, I would like to mention, which is on the next slide, that the challenge of making digitization, the paperless business happen, is something that each of us cannot do it alone. So frankly speaking, we all feel that it needs a push not only at one industry, but it needs a push across all industries. So we have made at the beginning of this year and announced our partnership with 3 banks, Alior Bank, BNP Paribas, and PKO BP, which are competitors, but all of those banks have accepted cooperation with Autenti to provide digital services with a better time to market perspective. They are the users of our services themselves, but they are also helping us and our partners to make these services available to the larger population, both businesses and consumers. And I would like to ask everybody who is on this conference for making this kind of use cases even stronger across different industries, whether this is sales process, HR process, financial services process, or any type of internal workflow process in the company to make this challenge and cooperation a joint solution. So thank you so much for this presentation. I am very grateful for having this opportunity to be with you, and most of all, stay safe.